Today, I'm going to be going through and breaking down the best Legend of the Franchise cards here in MLB The Show 22. Got a lot of people asking me, what cards should I be taking from each pack? So that's how we're going to approach this video. We're going to go pack by pack, and I'm going to rank the 5 cards in each division in the order that I am personally going to be taking them. Now, of course, I'll preface this and say there are no bad cards essentially in this program. Every card is nasty. They really juice these bad boys up, and I can't wait to get my hands on all of them at some point in time. And of course, everybody's team is in a different position, so your needs and my needs may not always align. The archetype of players you like versus what I like may not always be the same, so keep that in mind as we go through. Let's start out though. We're gonna start off with the American League East. We're gonna go in order that you're getting these packs in the program as well. First here, you can see I already got him parallel 2. I've been loving this Posada so far. I mean, how can you not? He's got the first base and the second base secondary to go along with the catcher position. He may be one of, if not the best card in this program. It's Posada. I love how his cards play. He's coming in with the pop, lacking a little bit of vision. If there's one downside, he's gonna lack that vision, maybe strike out a little bit more than what you'd want to see if you're not extremely accurate with your PCI placement. But that second base secondary adds so much flexibility and value to a guy like Posada here. Whether you use him at catcher, whether you use him at first, whether you use him at second, Posada is a dude for sure. Next up here in the AL East, we got Sean Green, which I was surprised to see how juicy this card was. And at minimum, this card should be a really strong bench bat. He may end up making my bench, and so he's gonna have a lot of value from that. He can hit lefties, still 102 and 100 versus lefties, but that 121, 125 versus righties, coming in with the 101 vision as well. Enough fielding to get a job done with that speed that he has. You can be playing him in the field. You're probably going to see a lot of this guy, Sean Green, here as a pinch hitter, though. Third, now we got Wade Boggs here. He does lack a little bit on the power, but he's coming in with the max contact both sides and the max vision. So if you want that bigger PCI, Wade Boggs is going to give that to you. He's got a really nice swing as well. By far the best Wade Boggs card we've gotten ever. And this year, more than ever, I've really liked the high vision players. Something about those guys have been playing really well with. So that 125 vision for Wade Boggs plays a ton, and I love that. Fourth here, we have Brooks Robinson. Not too dissimilar from Wade Boggs, but for me, he does have a bit of a worse swing. Is coming in with a little bit more premium position flexibility with our second and shortstop. He's not going to have as much contact, but he is going to give you a little bit more power versus righties with a little bit less vision. So if you really put a premium on that defense and you want elite fielders around the diamond, Brooks Robinson, if you like his swing, definitely give him a ride. And you want that bigger PCI, you like those contact base hitters who still have that pop to get the ball out, Brooks can be a really solid player to fill that role. Then finally, of course, we have Cy Young. Now, let me say this about Cy Young. You play against somebody who's willing to wait through that long windup and knows what they're doing. This Cy Young card can be kind of nasty. The speed differential, I mean, we go 98 miles an hour to 70, 73 on the screwball. He's going to have 112 walks per 9. You know, you're going to get a little bit bigger PCI with the 101 hits per 9, but he's got to be able to dot up basically every pitch with insane speed differential. You just got to be willing to wait an hour for him to actually throw it. But you play somebody who's willing to wait that time, Cy Young can actually be quite an effective pitcher. Not going to be making my rotation. I don't have the patience for that. And realistically, he's probably one of the lesser pitchers in this program because of that. Moving on now to the AL Central. We are starting off here with Torrey Hunter. This division, very balanced. So honestly, you could take any of these cards with your first option, and I would understand it, and I think you'd be reasonable in doing so. But I'm coming in with Torrey. I like his swing a lot. I like the elite defense in the outfield to go along with 83 speed. Gonna hit righties pretty well. He does have those reverse splits, but he's coming in with some nice contact still versus lefties, so he should be able to hit fine versus lefties. A little bit of a reverse split with that power versus righties. A guy who is super underrated in MLB The Show 21. Love to see him getting the love with this juiced out 99 here. Now, y'all know I love my switch hitters, so we go with Ray Durham here at number 2. I did use that prime card that he had earlier in the year. A lot of people, though, loved that prime Ray Durham. I wish I would have gotten him a little bit quicker and gotten the chance to use him some more, but now we got this one, and he is definitely juiced up 113, 110. He's gonna lack a little bit on that power front, but with that vision and contact, gonna have a nice PCI size, be able to get some solid hits with it. And of course, as you parallel him up, he's going to get some more of that power, you know, 90 and 97 power at parallel 5 is really solid. He's coming with both the fielding and the speed, and he can play center field as well, which gives him some nice positional flexibility. You get him to parallel 5, you have 99 speed. You could rock a guy like Ray Durham out there in center field really easily. And of course, being a switch hitter is going to bring some more value to me, at least. I love those switch hitters. I like having that hand in this matchup when I'm hitting a lot. Third up here, we got Cliff Lee. That 119 walks per 9 is pretty insane on this card. He is going to be able to absolutely dot up everything. I think walks per 9 is a super underrated attribute this year that a lot of people don't focus on as much. We don't know exactly what the control rating on each individual pitch does, but we know that that walks per 9 is what is directly controlling the par region, your perfect accuracy region. So that higher walks per 9 with that sinker cutter combo, the circle change knuckle curve, and he's coming in with that four seamer still. Really solid pitch mix. I love that sinker cutter combo with the ability to dot it up on the corners, on the edges, wherever I want in the zone. Cliff Lee gotta be a pretty nasty pitcher. He is lacking a little bit on the hits per 9, but again, this year hits per 9 are a lot less across the board right now. They've really been slowing the creep of those hits per 9 ramp ups. So 103 isn't as bad as it has been in the past, especially as you get that card paralleled up. Fourth here, we got Alan Trammell, which I'm not gonna lie, if y'all played on with the show 19, y'all know that my man Trammell had a 6 series card in the XP reward path. I'm gonna be honest, that was my shortstop for quite a while. I actually love that card, so I am stoked to see him get an absolutely juiced card. By far the best card he has ever gotten. This card, it is valid. It is a good card. 116, 125 on the contact, 93 and 100 on the power. So if you like those more power hitters, it may not be the guy for you. But again, if you like a little bit more of that contact archetype, get you that little bit bigger PCI, he is going to do that, especially with the 113 vision as well. 93 fielding, can play short, second, third, left, and center. Enough speed to get the job done at any of those positions. This is a really, really good card. I wouldn't sleep on this card. Give it a shot. See if you like the swing. And if you do, could be a really solid option for you. Lastly, here in this division, we got Brett Saberhagen, and his per 9s are not bad. I mean, 106 hits per 9, 114 on the walks per 9. He's gonna have solid control. He's got the 99 break as well, but it's just not a pitch mix that I love. Four-seam changeup, curveball, slider, pretty basic pitch mix. I think you're going to lack some effectiveness with that, especially if you're not at least rocking like an outlier four-seamer there. You're going to be able to pick up on those pitches quite easily. So Saberhagen, honestly, I may even put him behind Cy Young in pitcher rankings here for these Legend of the Franchise cards. On now to the AL West. We are starting here with Edgar Martinez, maybe one of the more juice cards we've gotten in this program compared to like Edgar cards that we've gotten in the past. This guy's coming in with max contact to both sides, and he's not going to be a slouch with the power at 106, 114 power right and left, and 106 vision as well. Obviously not going to be the fastest. He's not going to play the best defense ever, but with that first base secondary, you can definitely throw him at first base and not have any errors. I think at third base, he may give you a couple errors here and there with the lack of speed, the lack of reaction, the fielding. I think that may end up hurting you at third, but at first base with that bat, he is going to play absolutely. Second pick we got here, no bias at all. I was 5 to the P1. We got my man Pudge Rodriguez. My Rangers finally get a juicy Pudge card. Pudge cards in the past have been a little bit disappointing. Now, these attributes reflected here are at that parallel 1, but even still, he's coming in with the max contact. He's coming in with power to both sides. We're going to get him over that 100 power mark versus righties whenever I give him the parallel 3. Get him close to that versus lefties as well. A high vision number. And I just want to show off the stats. I mean, we've batting 395, little 1200 OPS so far online with my man Pudge. Really been liking this card. It is still maybe not the best swing I felt. There's better swings in the game, but I'm not struggling with this Pudge card near as much as I had with Pudge cards in the past. Historically, a guy who really struggles with a bad swing, but he also usually doesn't have this much power either. So he's generating a lot more exit velo this year. He's going to have max fielding as well. And with that second base secondary, that is important because even with the secondary positional hit, he's still going to be a really good fielder there and come in with 71 speed. If you use him at catcher, you like a little bit more speed on your team, he's going to fill that role right there. Throw my man at second base as well. I may be doing that at the end of the day. Third pick up here, it's Roy Oswalt. I really like what I've seen of this card so far. He's going to like a little bit on that hits per 9, but he's going to come in with a nice high Ks per 9 and some solid walks per 9 as well. Decent break on the card, but importantly too, a really good speed differential with the four seam, the sinker, and then the 12-6 that's dropping 25 miles an hour slower than his four-seamer, 23 miles an hour slower than his sinker. Mix that in with the changeup and the slider as well. He's got east to west. He's got north to south. He has fast. He has slow. He has a pretty decent amount of control as well to locate. I really like this Roy Oswalt card. Maybe not the most exciting name for a lot of people, but I wouldn't overlook this card at all. I'd definitely give him a shot. Fourth here in the division, we got Ricky Henderson. Now, don't get it twisted. This Ricky is absolutely insane. Honestly, he may end up making my outfield if only for his no doubter animation alone, which if you haven't seen, put Ricky on your squad, hit a no doubter with him. It is absolutely incredible. He's going to come in with 119 and 111 contact both sides, 92 power and 105 power. So he's going to have enough power to get the job done there. 108 on the vision as well. And of course, you know he's going to have that 99 speed, which speed for me plays so well in the outfield. I almost care more about speed than I do fielding at all in the outfield, because even if they get a bad jump, 99 speed, they're going to make up and get to basically every single ball that's hit out there. So defensively, he's going to be a menace. He's going to get home runs. He's going to turn singles into doubles, doubles into triples. He's going to leg out those extra bases for you. Ricky Henderson, super valuable player. Even though I have him at fourth in the division, they still make my God squad. That's how juiced and stacked these cards are. Finally, here in the division of the AOS, we have Jared Weaver. Now, I know a lot of people loved the Jared Weaver Prime card earlier in this year. For me, I personally didn't have a ton of success with that card. So while this card is definitely a solid upgrade over that, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to have success with him, I just don't think he's quite a pitcher type for me. If he's going to lack the velocity, I'd like to see a little bit more walks per nine to lower that par region so I can really locate the pitches how I want them. So while he has some really good attributes, he's got a solid pitch mix as well with the sinker. He's got the speed differentials. There's stuff that quite jumps off the page for me for Jared Weaver to place him over some other starters that have kind of cemented their place in my rotation. Now, moving on to the NL, maybe the only division where there is this definitive choice here first, that's Hank Aaron. Take Hank Aaron, put him in your outfield. That's all there really is to it. He's that guy still. He's still selling for 100,000 subs right now as we're closing in a week of this program being out. I mean, we can just look at the card. It speaks for itself. 119, 116, 125, 116. He's absolutely insane. He's going to crush both sides. He has the reverse splits. He likes on anything it's the vision, but honestly, that 95 to 100 range of vision, kind of a bit of a sweet spot for me there that I've really liked. He's going to have fielding. He's going to be fast enough there with 80 speed to do everything you need to do. This Hank Aaron, an absolute menace. Take him, put him on your squad. You're going to see everybody rocking this card. Now, pick number 2 here in the NL East, I'm going with Andre Dawson. He's a dude. I always love Andre Dawson cards. Going back to MLB 17 when he was first in the game, he had some absolutely insane hardware cards is what they were called back then instead of the award series that they have now. He had an absolutely couple insane cards. I enjoyed his lightning card a little bit earlier in the year as well, although by the time we got it, it was a little outclassed by a lot of people. This card definitely not near as outclassed and very usable. 113, 114, 100, 122. He's going to absolutely smoke lefties. Could use him as a really solid platoon option on the bench. If you find yourself a nice lefty outfielder that you love, platoon him with a guy like Dawson, you could have a lot of success with that. 102 vision as well. Really nice spot there. He's going to have the fielding. He's going to have the speed. He can play every outfield position with ease. Definitely give Andre Dawson a spin. Third guy I'm rocking with here is Tom Glavine. I like that 107 hits per nine. Coming in with the 99 walks per nine. Would like to see that just a little bit higher, but still really liking Glavine. I've loved Glavine cards in the past as well. That milestone that we got early in 21, probably one of my better cards that I pitched with for the beginning of the year. The primary sinker with the high control and break is super nice as well. That is going to be a pitch that is pretty filthy. We're getting a 22 mile an hour speed differential between that and his curve that he has. He has the slider, the circle change, the four-seamer as well. Coming with a little bit higher hits per nine than we see on a couple of these cards. I think Tom Glavine, he's not going to overpower people, but if you like a little bit more of a finesse pitcher, Tom Glavine is going to be a really disgusting option. In fourth here, we're going to go with AJ Burnett. Now, Burnett is coming in with a ton of speed differential as well. 20 mile an hour difference between that four-seamer and that curve that he has. And he's pumping a little bit of gas. 98 on the fastball, 95 on the sinker, the changeup, slider. Really solid pitches there. The thing that concerns me with Burnett and why he's not higher is that walks per nine being 90. We're going to get a little bit bigger perfect accuracy regions or par regions, but he's absolutely going to make up for that with a higher hits per nine and a higher Ks per nine to really limit your opponent's PCI size, where maybe if he misses a location very slightly, you can still induce some weak contact with a guy like AJ Burnett. He's coming in with some velocity as well. His pitchers are going to have a ton of break. I really do like AJ Burnett. If he had a little bit more control, I'd probably love him. That's a situation where you can also parallel him up, get that walks per nine a little bit higher. Last card we got here in this division is Mike Schmidt. Now, of course, not a bad card by any stretch, but personally for me, I've never been able to hit with Mike Schmidt. He just doesn't have a swing that works really well for me. But if you enjoy his swing, this card is going to be nasty. He's going to have the power. He's going to be okay on the contact. He's going to lack that vision, which is another kind of knock for me that pushes him down. Bad swing, a little bit less vision I'd like to see. It knocks Schmidt down for me. He is going to play some elite defense for you if you're looking for that. And if you like those power archetype hitters, could be a really solid option. I see Schmidt being super popular, as a BR pick, events, all-star level ranked seasons. But I think personally for me, as I get past that, he'd probably lack a little bit of usability. Yes, two divisions left here. Starting off with the NL Central, we got to go Prince Fielder. I mean, not only is his card juicy with the 113, 107, 125, 119, he does lack a little bit on that vision, but it's Prince Fielder. We all love Prince Fielder. Also, the meta at first base defense is to be as big as possible. So Prince Fielder is probably going to play an elite first base defense for you. He's got a sweet swing. He has an awesome no doubter animation. Only problem with Prince, if you notice, especially if you play in strike zone, he will actually clip through his body. And if you have a little bit of OCD, that may get to you there. But if you can overlook that aspect, this Prince Fielder is a disgusting card. NL Central, a little bit more of a balanced division, I think, than some of these other ones. So lots of good choices here. Next up, we got one that I think are going to surprise a lot of people here with Jason Bay. If you haven't used this card, give him a shot. 110 and 125. 110 versus righties power-wise, 101 power left. So 110, 110 versus righties. 125, 101 versus lefties. A little bit of reverse splits on that power. Coming in with some nice 93 vision as well. Decent speed. Solid fielding. I wouldn't necessarily want to throw him in center field or right field with that speed, but in left field, we can definitely hide him there. No problems. And this Jason Bay's coming in with a solid hitting attribute base there. Got a super nice swing to go along with that as well. Give this Jason Bay a shot. He is valid. You may overlook him based off the name, but you definitely want to try him out. Next up here, we got Ryan Sandberg. A really nice card here for Sandberg, another guy where if you like those contact-based hitters that still have enough power, those Jackie Robinson, Roberto Clemente type of players, Ryan Sandberg is probably going to be a guy that you enjoy with the 111, 120, 96, 93. You get him paralleled up, he's going to have close to 100 power versus lefties, over 100 power versus righties, and that vision, 111 on that vision is going to get you a nice outer PCI size. For me, something about that high vision has produced really, really good results this year. Allows me to keep fighting in at-bats, working the count a little bit deeper, and obviously unconfirmed, untested. But I think that higher vision number helps me get more off PCI home runs as well. I don't know what it is, but something about those guys I just absolutely crush with. Of course, he's going to be a rock-solid fielder as well. With that 94 fielding, can play second, third, and short. Has the speed, positional flexibility, good offensive attributes. Really solid all-around card. Lastly here, we got Joe Morgan. I'm not gonna lie, one of the cards I was maybe a little bit disappointed in. I was really looking forward to Joe Morgan and was hoping he'd be a little bit more balanced than what he was. Obviously, 125-98 is great versus righties, but that 102-81 versus lefties at second base with some of the options we have just put him in a position where I think I'd struggle to use Joe Morgan, which is a shame because generally I really do love Joe Morgan cards. He has a really nice swing for me, and he is going to be fast. He's going to have fielding. If you can get over what he's doing versus lefties, he can be a really solid option. He could also be a decent bench bat as well if you want to platoon him possibly versus righties with another second baseman. Lastly here, we got Ozzie Smith. Now, this card is way better than what any of us expected Ozzie Smith to be. Obviously, the max fielding, extremely fast. He's going to come in with the 125 vision, the 104, 100 contact, 72, 99 power. We all know that it's not incredible, but for Ozzie Smith, This is quite a juice card here. I mean, my man had like 28 career home runs to get 99 power left. We'll take that entirely. I love to see juice cards like this. I wish SDS would kind of break the mold a little bit more on some of these cards, where in the past it seems like they get so stuck on following a singular year or a group of years and hard tuning those attributes based off the player's statistics over that time, versus an example here like Ozzie Smith, where Ozzie Smith never showed to be a 99 power versus left hitter. But what it does is create a card that's a little bit more fun and useful, whether you're rocking a Cardinals theme team or you just want that elite defense out there at shortstop. You now have a guy who is at least somewhat viable offensively. Final division here, no bias here out the gate. It's Steve Finley. Steve Finley's a dog. He is him, an absolute legend. And I have another video dropping later today. If y'all want to know why Steve Finley's such a legend for me, between MLB The Show 21 and back again this year, we're gonna be dropping a video a little bit later this afternoon into the evening. Be sure to check that out and you'll understand the legend of Steve Finley. He's gonna like a little bit on the contact side, so you'll have to get over a little bit smaller PCI. Decent vision though. He's bringing the pop. He's gonna play some really solid defense in center field, left field, and right field. A little bit 82 speed as well. Perfectly fast out there in center field to track down the majority of balls hit. Next guy we got up here, Don Sutton. This is my favorite pitcher from this program. Now, he does lack a little bit on the speed as well. But the difference between Sutton lacking a little bit of the speed and a couple of the other guys that have lacked a little bit of speed is Sutton is going to come in with, at base, 117 hits per nine and that 99 walks per nine. So he's going to be able to control it pretty well, even if he has a little bit less. And he's still coming in with a 19-mile-an-hour speed differential with the screwball. The screwball is a huge pitch that fools a ton of people. The screwball sinker combo is a nasty pitch. So between the higher hits per nine and the pitch mix that this Sutton has compared to a couple of the other pitchers, he is my favorite starter in this program. He's going to be able to dot up. I mean, I have him at P1. He's already at 100 walks per nine. That's going to go up even more. He's going to bring in with the break as well. You got to pitch a little bit different. You're not going to overpower people, but if you start utilizing his pitches really well, and you like a guy, for example, like Fernando Valenzuela, and Don Sutton can be super effective. Third up here, we got Willie McCovey, who is another juicy card and an option that I think at minimum is going to be on a lot of people's benches with that 118, 125 versus lefties. Now, he is coming in with a little bit of secondary positions as well, but you're not going to use him out there in left field, right field with that 69 base fielding. He's going to be decent versus lefties too. I think you can see a lot of people rock this guy at first base, no doubt about it. Similar to a couple of the other left-handed first basemen we have that crush the ball versus righties, lack a little bit versus lefties, but are still at a level where they can get the job done versus lefties, no doubt about it. Fourth up here, we have Todd Helton. Very similar to that Willie McCovey. Now, Helton is going to come in with more defense and allow you to actually play him in left field or right field. He's not going to be super fast, but he's going to have enough fielding to be able to actually play one of those positions, unlike McCovey, where you'd really be at quite a liability. In return, though, he is going to have a little bit less power versus lefties with slightly more contact. It was honestly a pretty big toss-up versus Helton and McCovey, but I went with McCovey over Helton due to being a little bit more balanced. However, Todd Helton, I really do like his cards. He was one of my favorite players growing up, so I will be rocking this Todd Helton. You'll no doubt be seeing him on the God Squad. So many cards that we're adding. I'm actually going to be starting a AAA and AA team to go with my God Squad, so those dudes are going to have to fight for their chance to get on the God Squad. Last up here, we got Tony Gwynn. Another situation where we've never gotten a Tony Gwynn with this much pop, and it is certainly an amount of power that is going to play. I mean, 125-90 versus righties, that plays 100%. 125-70 versus lefties, he's going to struggle a little bit there, but you're going to get elite fielding and speed from him. For me, though, that 70 power versus left just hurts his usability just a little bit. But still, if you're a Padres fan, you love those contact hitters, Tony Gwynn, very viable. We've never gotten this use of a Tony Gwynn. Love to see how much these cards got jacked up in this program. Super awesome program. Honestly, like all 30 cards have an argument for being usable to some degree, which I don't think we can ever say that about a Team Affinity style program before. I think there's always been a handful that are like, yeah, there's zero opportunity to use that card at all. This Legend of the Franchise program, I don't think I can say that about a single one of these cards. Absolutely A+ job content wise here in dropping this bad boy. So that is what I got. Those are the order that I'm going to be taking those players from each of those packs. Now, of course, you're probably watching this and you disagreed with me on some of these. Let me know which ones you disagree with down in the comment section below. Who has been your favorite Legends of the Franchise player so far? And of course, y'all enjoyed this video. Definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch y'all around.